Hi everyone, welcome back to TGMC, Diwan-e-Ghalib, Meri Zubani. To all our returning viewers, we are very happy you could join us again. And to the new viewers, we are delighted you discovered the podcast and decided to tune in for the first time. Now, if you were with me in the previous episode, you know that currently we are going through Ghazal 26 from Diwan-e-Ghalib, Gar Nigaah-e-Garm Andoh-e-Shab-e-Furqat bayaan ho jaaega. We've already covered 2 couplets. Today we are going to get into the 3rd couplet of this ghazal. As always, I'm going to read the couplet first, then we will get into the key words, concepts, and finally the impression. So this is how it goes. ले तो लूं सोते में उसके पाँव का बोसा मगर, ले तो लूं सोते में उसके पाँव का बोसा मगर, ऐसी बातों से वो काफिर बदगुमा हो जाएगा. So let's start with a quick approximate translation. First line, ले तो लूं सोते में उसके पाँव का बोसा मगर. I would steal a kiss off her foot while she sleeps, but. Second line, ऐसी बातों से वो काफिर बदगुमा हो जाएगा. From such things and actions, that infidel beloved might become distrustful of me. Sorry. So that is the approximate translation. Let's start getting into the keywords. First word, Bosaa. Bosaa is a kiss. Let's start with the Mirza Ghalib शेर. दिखा के जुम्बिशे लब ही तमाम कर हमको, ना दे जो बोसा तो मुंह से कहीं जवाब तो दे. Approximate translation is, kill us by showing just a hint of movement in your lips. If you are not willing to give us a kiss, at least use those lips to give us an answer. मिर्जा गालिब का ही शेर. सोहबत में गैर की ना पड़ी हो कहीं ये खू, देने लगा है बोसा बगैर इल्तिजा किए. The approximate translation is, I wonder if she inherited this habit in the company of the rival lover, because I'm noticing these days she has started agreeing to give me a kiss without making me beg and plead. Where has she picked up this habit of giving a kiss without making me beg and plead, or without someone begging and pleading for it? मिर्जा गालिब का ही शेर. बोसा कैसा यही गनीमत है कि ना समझे वो लज्जते दुश्नाम. Approximate translation is, forget about a kiss. It would be a saving grace if she would not understand and get into and develop the taste for abuses. So basically, forget about her using her mouth to kiss me. It would be enough. It would be a saving grace if she doesn't use that mouth to say bad things to me, bad words to me, abuses to me. Dushnam is an abuse. So she should not develop a habit of feeling pleasure in abuse. That's all I pray for. Forget about her ever kissing me. As long as she doesn't say anything bad to me, that should be enough. Moving on to the other word. Next word, Kaafir. So Kaafir translates to an infidel, somebody who is impious, somebody who is in a habit of not showing respect and reverence, right? Especially to God. So a kind of a rebel, but without a cause. So इस पे मिर्जा गालिब का शेर. मोहब्बत में नहीं है फ़र्क जीने और मरने का, उसी को देख कर जीते हैं जिस काफिर पे दम निकले. So the approximate translation is, In love, there is no difference between living and dying, because as a lover, I am living because of someone I would willingly die for. बात करने का स्टाइल, राइट? जक्सटापोजिशन दोनों चीज़ों का, लाइफ एंड डेथ का. सो आई एम लिविंग just looking at someone whom I would willingly die for. असरूल हक मजाज का ये शेर. कुछ तुम्हारी निगाह काफिर थी, कुछ मुझे भी खराब होना था. So the approximate translation is, some part of it was that your glances were infidel, impious, and some part of the reason was the fact that I too wanted to become bad, become impious, so to speak. So no, your glances are not to be blamed for everything. Yes, your glances played a role in it, but then I too had a desire to indulge in bad things, in sins. शेख इब्राहिम ज़ौक़ का ये शेर. जाहिद शराब पीने से काफिर हुआ मैं क्यों. ब्यूटीफुल कपलेट. जाहिद शराब पीने से काफिर हुआ मैं क्यों, क्या 1.5 चुल्लू पानी में ईमान बह गया. Beautiful couplet. Approximate translation is Zahid, and the poet is referring to the wise one, the priest, the religious leader. The poet is saying, wise one, tell me, how has drinking made me or turned me into an impious infidel? Explain to me how in a cup or a cup full of wine, my entire faith and belief was drowned and destroyed. How is that possible? That a cup of wine was able to drown a lifelong legacy of faith and belief that I had with me. Why do you say that drinking wine has turned me into an infidel? And of course, the background concept playing in the couplet is the fact that per Islam, drinking wine is prohibited. It is considered a sin. मिर्ज़ा गालिब का ये शेर. मिलती है खुए यार से नार इल्तिहाब में, काफिर हूँ गर ना मिलती हो राहत अजाब में. So the approximate translation is, the fire of hell, the heat of the fire of hell resembles the temperament of the beloved, and therefore I would consider myself an infidel if I was to feel uncomfortable in the fires of hell, simply because all through my life on earth I have been dealing with her temperament, which is similar to fires of hell, which has heat and burning similar to the fires of hell, just referring to the hot temper the beloved has. आरज़ू लखनवी का ये शेर. जो दिल रखते हैं सीने में वो काफिर हो नहीं सकते, मोहब्बत दीन होती है, वफा ईमान होता है. One of our favorite couplets. The approximate translation is, people who have a heart in their chest, they can never be an infidel. And metaphorically, people who have a heart filled with love in their chest cannot be called an infidel. They believe in the religion of love. They believe in the faith of loyalty. So you cannot call them an infidel. Okay, so that takes care of kafir. Moving on to Bad-Gumaan. It's a word complex. Let's take Guma first. Guma is doubt, suspicion, distrust on something, and Bad is anything bad. So Bad-Gumaan is somebody who has a very bad distrust, bad doubt, or bad suspicion, negative suspicion and doubt about something. इफ्तिकार इमाम सिद्दीकी का ये शेर. चुप रहा तो वो समझेगा बदगुमा मुझे, बुरा भला ही सही कुछ तो बोल आऊं मैं. Approximate translation is, if I remain silent, then that person, and by extension the beloved, will have bad suspicion about me. I should therefore say something. I should say something, whether good or bad, but I should speak up. I should say something, because my silence will make that person become distrustful of me. वसीम बरेलवी का ये शेर, चलो हम ही पहल कर दे कि हमसे बदगुमा क्यों हो, चलो हम ही पहल कर दे कि हमसे बदगुमा क्यों हो, कोई रिश्ता जरा सी जिद की खातिर रायगा क्यों हो. Beautiful couplet, right? Let's talk. So, the approximate translation is, fine, I will be the first one to initiate a conversation and ask you, why are you so suspicious? Why are you so distrustful of me? What is the reason behind it? Because I genuinely believe that no relationship should be wasted because of ego, because of stubbornness. So therefore, beloved, I will give in and be the first one to initiate a conversation, just to avoid the wastage of a relationship because of sheer stubbornness and arrogance, ego. शकील बदायूं का ये शेर, इस दर्जा बदगुमा हैं खलूसे बशर से हम, इस दर्जा बदगुमा हैं खलूसे बशर से हम, अपनों को देखते हैं पराई नज़र से हम. So the approximate translation is, this is the level of my suspicion and doubt with reference to the entire human race. Such is my experience, such is my mindset now, that I have a level of suspicion and doubt against the human race, which is such that even when I am looking at people who are mine, I look at them with a glance that is used for strangers, by extension doubtful strangers, untrustworthy strangers. Such has become the reflex, such has become the habit, that I no longer can send out a glance which is trustworthy. I look at everyone with distrust and suspicion, even the ones who are, I know, my very own and trustworthy. बदगुमा पर एक और शेर, इकबाल खवार का, ऐसा हूँ बदगुमा कि दस्तक तो उसने दी, लेकिन मेरा ख्याल हवा की तरफ गया. So the approximate translation is, such is my doubt, such is my distrust, such is my suspicion, that though it was actually her who knocked on my door, my first reflex was to think it is the wind that has knocked on my door. So that takes care of all the keywords in the couplet, Bosaa, Kaafir and Bad-Gumaan. Let's start getting into our impression. First line, ले तो लूं सोते में उसके पाँव का बोसा मगर. Magar. So I could steal a kiss off her foot as she sleeps, but so that is the translation. Now Ghalib starts this first line with le tulu. Le tulu translates to I could, and herein Ghalib captures the strong, irresistible temptation the lover is faced with. I could. If I wanted to, I could. And damn, I want to, right? So I could do this. And it is no secret that one of the strong desires a lover harbors in his heart is that of receiving a kiss from the beloved. And this is not something which comes and goes, right? It is almost a constant desire, a constant need, a constant temptation to have the beloved kiss him, right? And we just covered Mirza Ghalib's couplet, right? दिखा के जुम्बिशे लब ही तमाम कर हमको, ना दे जो बोसा तो मुंह से कहीं जवाब तो दे. Ghalib says, forget about the kiss, just move those lips and say something, and I will give up my life in the sheer joy of seeing your lips move, even if it wasn't to kiss me, even if it was to just say something to me. Don't even say something, just move them. Just move them. And the sheer joy of watching those lips move will make me give up my life. So, just reiterating the fact that this is a very, very, very desirous thing for the lover to get a kiss from the beloved. But Ghalib goes one step further in this couplet. So yes, there is a temptation. Le to loon, I could. But Ghalib goes ahead and couples this temptation with an opportunity. And what is the opportunity? Sote mein, which translates to while she sleeps. So, for the lover, this opportunity is critical, right? Because the lover knows if the beloved was to be awake and alert, there is minimal to none chances of him being able to get a kiss from her. But Ghalib has set up the stage for a point in time where, of course, the temptation is there, but there is an opportunity because she's sleeping. She is sleeping. So the lover in the couplet is faced not only with an irresistible temptation, but also a strong opportunity to fulfill this temptation of getting a kiss from the beloved. So, yes, the lover desires for a kiss from the beloved all the time, right? It is very usual, but add to it the fact that the beloved is asleep, and then add to it the fact that the lover happens to be in vicinity of the sleeping beloved, and last but not the least, add to all this the advantage of beloved's ignorance about the kiss if it was to happen when she was sleeping. And this last reason, right, is probably the most tempting, the most enticing. Imagine a lover knowing that he could fulfill one of his dearest desires of getting a kiss from the beloved and not have to bear any consequences for it. No resistance, no consequences. वो शेर याद आ रहा है जलाल लखनवी का, शब को मैं खूब सी पी, सुबह को तौबा कर ली, रिंद के रिंद रहे, हाथ से जन्नत न गई. Approximate translation is, during the evening and night, I drank to my heart's content, and in the morning I woke up, said my prayers and repented. This way, I remained a drinker, somebody fond of drinking, and yet I did not lose the heaven either because of the sin of drinking. So that would be the lover's situation, right? That he would get his kiss also, and there would be no resistance, and there will be no consequences because the beloved will not know about it. She is asleep. He is going to steal the kiss from her. Now, this safety blanket, right, of her sleeping. How could the beloved hold the lover responsible for something she's not even aware of, right? Perhaps this security blanket is even more irresistible than the desire itself of wanting to kiss her, because this security blanket is very rare. It is very rare. Ghalib does an excellent job of setting up this stage for the lover, feeling anticipation, apprehension, excitement, fear, and so much more. He is caught in a moment where, like I said, it's not only the temptation, which is probably always there when he's around her, but it is coupled with a fantastic opportunity to be able to indulge in the temptation without any resistance, without any consequences. Akbar al-Abadi ka ye sher captures these feelings that the lover is going through very well. Dil dhadakta hai mera, लूं बोसाए रुख या ना लूं, नींद में उसने दुलाई मुंह से सरकाई तो है. The approximate translation is, my heart beats uncontrollably as I sit and try to figure out, should I go ahead and kiss her face or not? Because in her sleep, she has suddenly, accidentally removed the coverlet that was covering her face away from her face. So now her face is exposed while she's sleeping, and my heart has started beating uncontrollably, because now I'm tempted and I'm thinking, should I not? Right? Should I not? Now the lover probably knows this temptation can go two ways, right? Make or break. Either the lover will yield to this temptation, give in to it, and fulfill his dearest desire. Mirza Abul Muzaffar Zafar का ये शेर, बेखुदी में ले लिया बोसा, खता कीजे मुआफ, ये दिले बेताब की सारी खता थी, मैं ना था. So the approximate translation is, in a moment of intoxication, in a moment of stupor, I did go ahead and took a kiss from you. Forgive me. Believe me, it was this anxious, desirous heart of mine who made this mistake. It wasn't me. हसरत मोहानी का ये शेर, जान कर सोता तुझे वो कसदे पा बोसी मेरा, और तेरा ठुकरा के सर वो मुस्कुराना याद है. Part of the famous ghazal from the movie Nikah, चुपके चुपके रात दिन आंसू बहाना याद है, हमको आज तक आशिकी का वो ज़माना याद है. So the approximate translation of the couplet is that knowing that you were sleeping, जान कर सोता तुझे, knowing that you were sleeping, वो कसदे पा बोसी मेरा, that effort to kiss your foot, that effort of mine to kiss your foot, और तेरा ठुकरा के सर, and the way you pushed away my face, my head with your feet while I was kissing your feet, और वो मुस्कुराना याद है, and smiling while you pushed away my head with your feet. याद है. I remember that moment. So those are the two couplets where the lover actually does give into the temptation of kissing the beloved's feet. Now the other way this temptation can go is that the lover does not give into the temptation. He is able to resist it. बशीर बद्र का ये शेर, सर से पा तक वो गुलाबों का शजर लगता है, सर से पा तक वो गुलाबों का शजर लगता है, बावजू हो के भी छूते हुए डर लगता है. Beautiful couplet. Approximate translation is, from head to toe, she is a tree of roses. I have done my ablutions, I have purified myself as one would do before offering praise, and still I am afraid to touch her. Still I hesitate to touch her. I feel impure even after doing my ablutions and purification, which is a ritual in Islam before you offer prayers. I have gone through that ritual and still I hesitate to touch her. That is the aura. That is the purity I see in her. I don't think I'm fit after doing all this to touch her. I'm still not fit. Hyder Ali Atish का ये शेर, हसरत ही बोसाए लबे शिरी की रह गई, हसरत ही बोसाए लबे शिरी की रह गई, मीठा ना मुंह को तेरे नमक ख्वार ने किया. Again a beautiful couplet. The approximate translation is, that desire of mine to taste the sweetness of your lips remained unfulfilled. Your servant, and here namakwar means somebody who has Technically, literally, it means somebody who has eaten your salt, but figuratively, it means somebody who is your servant, right? Somebody who is indebted to you for their bread and butter and salt, right? So yes, the lover says that desire of mine to taste the sweetness of your lips remained fulfilled. Your servant who was indebted to your salt, right? Who was indebted to your salt, never sweetened his mouth, ever. Only sweet he wanted was your lips, but he never did it because he was indebted to your salt. And just again a metaphorical feeling, right? That the lover is pledged to the beloved. He will never do anything which goes against the grain of salt, against the decorum, against the respect he gives to the beloved. So that desire of tasting the sweetness of her lips remained unfulfilled. So, like I said, this temptation can go both ways. He might indulge in it, he might not indulge in it. Now, to figure out which way the temptation went in our couplet, we move on to the second line, which is Aisi baaton se wo Kaafir Bad-Gumaan ho jaaega. Translated, it means from such things, because of such actions of mine, that infidel will become distrustful of me, will become suspicious of me. Now, in the second line, we see the lover weigh the pros and cons. As we established in the first line, the pros of stealing a kiss look good. They look very good, very tempting. The temptation is there, the opportunity is there, the security blanket is there. Ghalib has set it up to make it downright impossible to resist. So the pros are good. Let's get into the cons. Second line is about cons. So what are the cons? What are the consequences of stealing a kiss from the beloved as she sleeps? Well, the sleeping beloved might wake up when the lover kisses her because of the touch of his lips, or even worse, through some bad stroke of luck, she might remain asleep but still somehow have an inkling that a kiss was stolen from her. We always have to remember the lover considers the beloved next to God, right? Omnipotent, omnipresent. The lover never doubts the beloved's intuition, her ability, her temperament, which is just somehow all around him, right? All around him, all the time. So that can also happen. And Ghalib says, if this slim chance, it is a slim chance, but it is a chance, right? If this slim chance was ever to materialize, wherein either the beloved wakes up while the lover is kissing her feet, or doesn't even wake up, but somehow in her sleep gets an inkling that this happened when she was asleep, then the consequence would be the loss of trust. The consequence would be the loss of faith the beloved has in the lover. And the beloved turning distrustful towards the lover, the beloved losing faith in the lover, is devastating for the lover. हातिफ आरीफी फतेहपुरी का ये शेर, वो नज़र बदगुमा सी लगती है, जिंदगी रायगां सी लगती है. The approximate translation is, today her glance looks suspicious as it comes my way. Today life looks wasted. So if the lover loses her trust, if the lover sees suspicion in the beloved's eyes, if the lover sees distrust in the beloved's eyes, it's almost as if his life has gone to waste, because all he has done throughout his life is love this beloved with all his heart, all his soul. वो है ना, जिन पत्थरों को बोलना सिखाया पलट के हम पर ही चीख पड़े. I mean, all my life I have pledged myself to you, and the only thing I've done is love you and be faithful to you. And today you send me a glance that has distrust in it, that has doubt in it, that has suspicion in it. What that means is my entire life has gone to waste. Right? My entire life has... So that's a huge consequence for the lover. It's a huge consequence that the beloved would lose her faith. होश नुमानी रामपुरी का ये शेर, अपनी जब वफाओं पर उनको बदगुमा देखा, हमने कितनी हसरत से सुए आसमां देखा. The approximate translation is, the moment when I saw her getting suspicious about me, the moment when I saw her getting distrustful of me, I looked at the heavens upwards with such... there should be a word, right? With such... with such... Demotivation is a very light word, but something to that. Something akin to that, with such demotivation, with such loss, or with such emptiness, right? I mean, almost look towards God. God, what is this? That one thing I pledged my entire life to, pledged my loyalty to, pledged my love to, is today looking at me with such distrust, with such suspicion. God, where are you? How is this fair, right? Why this unfairness? उनके देखे से आ जाती है मुंह पे रौनक, वो समझते हैं बीमार का हाल अच्छा है. I am sick in your love, but when I see you, my face lights up. And you go back thinking I'm hale and hearty. What unfairness, God, what unfairness. So, clearly it's a huge consequence for the lover. This is one test the lover never wants to fail. The test of loyalty, the test of faithfulness. कतील शिफाई का ये शेर, वो मेहरबान है तो इकरार क्यों नहीं करता, वो बदगुमा है तो 100 बार आजमाए मुझे. Approximate translation is, if she likes me, if she loves me, if she trusts me, why doesn't she admit it? And if she doesn't trust me, if she's suspicious of me, go ahead, test me 1,000 times. Test me till you are totally convinced that I am trustworthy, I am loyal, I am faithful. But if you already know that, then admit it. Admit it. So, there is a trust between the lover and the beloved, which is precious, which is delicate, and which is fragile. A trust that probably is the reason why the beloved has allowed herself to fall asleep in the lover's presence, be it a 20-second cat nap or she slept throughout the night. We all know that the fact of the matter is, forget beloved and lover, nobody tends to fall asleep in the presence of someone they do not trust. You can never sleep peacefully. If you are sleeping peacefully around someone, there is a level of deep trust. There is a level of deep security that you feel with that person. Only then will you allow yourself to sleep peacefully. So in this scenario, the mere fact that the lover is allowed to be anywhere in the vicinity of the sleeping beloved shows the trust she has in the lover. Now some would speculate, well, what if he sneaked in? We don't have any reason to believe he sneaked in, so we are going to discard that speculation. We will stick to the fact that in the couplet, the lover is in the vicinity of the sleeping beloved. The lover has a difficult choice between opportunity to fulfill the dearest of his desires, stealing a kiss, and risk of losing the beloved's trust if she was to find out about the stolen kiss. And for the lover, the risk of that slim, very slim chance that she might find out and lose her trust outweighs the once in a blue moon chance for the lover to fulfill his deepest desires of getting a kiss from her. The lover backs off in our couplet. The lover backs off in our couplet from the irresistible temptation and decides to preserve the honor of the trust the beloved has put in him. For the lover, the stolen kiss, no matter how pleasurable, pales in front of the trust the beloved places in him. वो शेर याद आ रहा है, and we have covered this ghazal. फरोगे शोला खस यक नफस है, हवस को पासे नामू से वफा क्या. The approximate translation is, the glory of a flame burning on straw is only for a single breath. Just like desire and lust, what respect do they have for the honor of faithfulness, trust, loyalty? Desire and lust do not stop to think about the honor of things like loyalty and trust. They don't believe in it. They don't respect that honor. Desire and lust are like a flame that is burning on a straw. It will have its glory, but for a second. Straw can only maintain that flame for a second, for the life of one breath. Now, if you want to throw away everything for the pleasure of that one breath, go ahead, do it. But after that, that fire is going to extinguish. Love, on the other hand, is a player of the long game. Love will never risk the long-term reputation, the long-term honor, the long-term respect for things like loyalty and trust for a moment of pleasure. So that is a difficult decision. It is always a very difficult decision. The lover in Ghalib's poetry once again is put through the test, through the conflicting choice, and once again the lover in Ghalib's poetry chooses beloved over himself. Simple for the lover to do? Oh, we don't think so. He's a lover, he's a human, he's not Superman, right? A tough choice is a tough choice, and irresistible temptation is an irresistible temptation for any and everyone. For any and everyone. But somehow the lover seems to be able to summon the self-control, summon the self-discipline needed to make this difficult choice. This would not be the first time the lover would exhibit great self-discipline and self-control in the presence of the beloved. And this certainly won't be the last time. The beauty of this self-discipline and self-control that the lover displays in today's couplet, this beauty is enhanced. It is enhanced by the fact that beloved will never know about it. No one will know about this difficult decision the lover is making, where he is executing self-control and self-discipline to avoid risking the trust the beloved has in him. No one will know about this choice except the lover. No one will know. And yahan pe it reminds me of one of my favorite quotes from Henry Ford. Quality is something you do when no one is watching. Quality is something you do when no one is watching. Right? The lover refuses to compromise on the quality of his dynamic with the beloved, and hence, though no one asked him to, no one forced him to, he still goes ahead and chooses to maintain the quality of trust the beloved has in him. Lover genuinely believes she is worth sacrificing his own dearest desire of a kiss. She is worth it. She is worth that sacrifice. Zafar Iqbal का ये शेर, खैरात का मुझे कोई लालच नहीं ज़फ़र, खैरात का मुझे कोई लालच नहीं ज़फ़र, मैं इस गली में सिर्फ सदा करने आया हूँ. Beautiful couplet. The approximate translation is, Zafar, and the poet is referring to himself, Zafar, I have no greed or desire for alms. The only reason I'm begging in this street is because I want to call out. I want to call out her name. I expect nothing. Nothing. The only reason I beg in her street is because it is her street. I get an opportunity to call out her name. And of course, the couplet can go both ways. It can be about God, it can be about the beloved, but we are taking it in the context of the beloved. So that is the attitude of the lover. The lover in today's couplet is okay to just be in the vicinity of her while she's sleeping. He doesn't want anything else. खैरात का मुझे कोई लालच नहीं. If I go from this night with nothing, no action done, it's okay. Because I anyway came sirf sada karne. I anyway came just to be in her vicinity. The price for the kiss, the risk in the kiss, the overall consequence for stealing this kiss is not worth it for the lover. And इसको मिर्ज़ा गालिब ने बहुत अच्छी तरह कैप्चर किया इस कपलेट में. उस लब से मिल ही जाएगा बोसा कभी तो हाँ, शौक़ फजूल ओ जुर्रते रिंदा चाहिए. The approximate translation is yes. Sometime, somewhere down the road, you can get a kiss from her. Of course you can. But what you will need for it is an excessiveness of passion and ardor and a very rakish, a very irresponsible kind of a courage that will make you just go into the heat of moment and do it. That is what you're required to get a kiss. And both those things they do not comply to the unsaid code of decorum, to the unsaid code of conduct with the beloved. Now, if you are willing to break from the decorum, if you are willing to break from the code of conduct, yes, you can get your kiss. But what will happen is that you will have to exhibit an excessive, almost illogically excessive amount of desire and a very irresponsible level of courage to go ahead and do something like this where she doesn't want to give it, but you go ahead and take it. And that does not comply with the reverence and respect one is supposed to show towards someone you love. Okay. Now, while we are discussing the decision, while we are discussing the choice the lover has made to give up his desire of kissing the beloved, the choice he has made to maintain the honor of her trust, the choice he has made to sacrifice his desire, we have to keep in mind that this is no ordinary kiss. The run-of-the-mill kiss, right, that we hear about anywhere and everywhere, movies, art, poetry, paintings. This is not that kiss, right? The lover in this couplet has been tempted to kiss the feet of the beloved. Not the lips, not the mouth, not the face. The feet of the beloved. The desire of his temptation to kiss her feet is not about passion alone. Now, if we were to trace back the origins of practices of feet washing and feet kissing, there are some interesting dynamics in there, which we genuinely at DGMZ believe just enhance our understanding of what's happening in our couplet. So let's spend a minute on exploring those. So, foot washing first. Foot washing seems the tradition, foot washing, like every tradition, emerges from a need. In olden times, the shoes were usually made of animal skin and hence very difficult or impossible to clean. This necessitated the need of taking off shoes and washing the feet outside the house before entering the house. The feet that were encased in footwear made of animal skin required to be purified, and usually this responsibility would fall on the lowest house servant. Now, whenever foot washing was undertaken by anyone other than the lowest servant in the household, it took on a very significant symbolic importance. It was recognized as a humble action, a deliberate act of humility, a mark of respect, and at times a mark of deliberate self-humiliation. Here I would like to read to you an excerpt from a CNN News article dated 28th March 2024, titled Pope Francis Breaks with Tradition in Annual Ritual by Washing the Feet of Women Only. This is the excerpt I want to read. Pope Francis on Thursday has washed the feet of 12 women at a prison in Rome during a ceremony emphasizing humility. It is the first time the Pope has washed the feet of women only during the special annual service. The 87-year-old pontiff, who has been experiencing health and mobility difficulties recently, led the ceremony at Rebibbia prison in Rome. Washing the feet of each of the women from his wheelchair, many of whom were in tears as he did so. The foot washing ritual takes place on the Thursday before Easter and seeks to imitate Jesus Christ's washing of his disciples' feet the night before he died. Since his election, the Pope has taken this ceremony out of Vatican territory and celebrated by washing the feet of prisoners, refugees, and the disabled. Over the years, Francis has washed the feet of women and Muslims. However, Michael Walsh, a prominent church historian and author, and Father Anthony Ruff, a liturgical expert, both told CNN they believed this is the first time a pope has washed the feet of women exclusively during the ceremony. Nadia Fontana, the director of the female prison in Rome where the event took place, said it was the first time a pope had entered their facility, which she said held 360 prisoners and one child. In the early years of his pontificate, the Pope changed church rules to officially include women in the ceremony, a move that met resistance in the Vatican. His predecessor, Benedict XVI, only washed the feet of men and later switched to washing only the feet of priests. So that was foot washing and the huge history and symbolism it comes with. Moving on to foot kissing. Kissing feet is a tradition that can symbolize respect, reverence, and homage. It has been practiced in many cultures throughout history, including Middle Ages, Roman Catholic Church, and in Ethiopia. In the Middle Ages, kissing the feet of rulers was a sign of respect. In the Roman Catholic Church, the custom of kissing the Pope's right foot was adapted from the custom of kissing his right hand. In Ethiopia, kissing the feet of someone is a gesture of honor, respect, and thankfulness. There are two big examples of feet kissing that stand out. Number one, in St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, pilgrims come to pay their respects to the bronze statue of St. Peter. St. Peter was the first pope and rock of the early church, over whose tomb the basilica was built. Millions of pilgrims, with loving pressure, have worn down the feet of the statue of St. Paul in Rome with their lips. Pilgrims would bend down to kiss the foot of St. Peter's statue in the Vatican, and over the years, the metal has worn away so that the toes blend in with the rest of the foot. Nowadays, most visitors opt for touching the St. Peter statue foot instead of kissing it, but the feet are still worn down due to the human contact. And of course, the second example, as we discussed, was that Pope Francis not only washed but kissed the feet of prisoners and migrants as an act of humility and service, imitating the huge example Jesus Christ himself set by washing feet of his disciples one night before he was crucified. So that historical context helps us to grasp the feeling behind kissing feet of someone, right? Clearly, kissing the feet signifies a profound gesture of respect, often reserved for moments of intimacy and reverence towards an individual. It embodies a deep acknowledgement of the person's significance within a cultural or personal context. Now, with that in mind, in today's couplet, the lover refraining from this act of kissing the feet of the beloved not just shows respect but utmost respect. Yes, he did not kiss her feet because of the respect for her trust in him, but had he stolen that kiss of her feet, it would not have been a disrespectful gesture even then. Kissing her feet would not have been a disrespectful gesture in her presence. The disrespect primarily would come from the fact that it was stolen. It was without her awareness, without her agreement. That is where the disrespect would have been. The kiss itself, though, is a gesture full of reverence and respect, not driven by passion alone. Ghalib captures how naturally the reverence and respect for the beloved flows into any and everything the lover does, even something as intimate as kissing. मीर तकी मीर का ये शेर, तेरे रुखे मुख तत् कुरान है हमारा, बोसा भी ले तो क्या है ईमान है हमारा. The approximate translation is, this beautiful face of yours is my Quran, is my holy book. Even if I was to kiss it, you have to know this is my faith. As you know, in almost all religions, including Islam, the gesture of kissing the holy book is of reverence and respect. So this is how the lover, Mir Taki Mir, describes kissing the beloved. It is as if you are kissing the holy book, which holds your faith in it, right? That's what Mir Taki Mir says. Momin Khan Momin ka ye शेर, बोसा सनम की आंख का लेते ही जा दी, मोमिन को याद क्या हजरूल अस्वाद आ गया. The approximate translation is, as soon as he took a kiss from the beloved using his eyes, Momin gave up his life. It almost seemed as if as soon as he got that kiss from her eyes, Momin remembered the black stone, Hajrul Aswad, the black stone fixed into the eastern corner of Kaaba in Makkah, which is the pilgrim place for all Muslims. Momin almost felt as if he has kissed that stone. And of course, once your pilgrimage is done, you are ready to meet your God. You are ready to meet him. Everything is done. Right? You have gained your nirvana. You have gained your moksha, right? So that is the feeling Momin had, and he gave up his life. Akbar Alabadi ka ye sher, एक बोसा दीजिए मेरा ईमान लीजिए, एक बोसा दीजिए मेरा ईमान लीजिए, गो बुत हैं आप बेरे खुदा मान लीजिए. Approximate translation is, give me a kiss and I will give you my faith in return. Faith. my faith in return. Give me a kiss and take my faith in return. Though you are an idol, I give you Khuda ka wasta. I implore you in the name of God, give me that kiss, and I will give my faith to you. I will give my faith to you. जुर्रत कलंदर बख्शी का ये शेर, एक बोसा मांगता हूँ मैं खैरात हुस्न की, दो माल की ज़कात की दौलत ज़्यादा हो. Approximate translation is, I beg you for one kiss from the charity of your beauty. From the arms of your beauty, grant me one kiss as charity. And as you know, beloved, if you give charity, your treasures will double. That is the rule of zakat. Zakat is the alms giving in Islamic religion, and it is said, the more you give, the more you get. So the lover is saying, give me one kiss from the riches of your beauty. And just like zakat, once you do this charity, the riches of your beauty will double. रिंद लखनवी का ये शेर, यूसुफ़े मिस्र मोहब्बत कैसा अर्जा बिक गया, नक्कदे दिल कीमत हुई एक बोसा बाय आना हुआ. The approximate translation is that the Yusuf of the world of love was sold for cheap. And he paid in cash with his heart for one kiss. For the promise of one kiss, he paid in cash with his heart. And that's why he did a bad deal for just one kiss, right? He paid in cash with his heart. Now, that all those couplets just reiterating the fact, like we said in a few minutes back, it's not an ordinary kiss. It is not an ordinary kiss from an ordinary person, right? The lover is ready to pay for it dearly if he gets it, and the lover is ready to give up the desire for it if that means losing trust and faith of the beloved. Either way, the lover is coming at it with a lot of thinking, assessment, analysis. He is not willing to mess this up. It is too important. Once again, in today's couplet, Ghalib has left us with a sense of gain in something which looks like a loss on surface, with a sense of victory in something that looks like a failure on surface. Oh, I did not get what I wanted. I did not get the kiss, right? But Ghalib, the way he describes it, you feel proud of the fact that you did not get the kiss that you have desired all your life, right? Once again, Ghalib shows how love dictates and demands uncompromised purity and quality of highest possible standards in everything the lover does. No matter how small, no matter how big, the track record of the lover has to be kept clean, has to be kept untainted at every cost. No cost is big enough for that. Now, as fate would have it, this couplet fell on our DGMZ schedule on Valentine's Day. You might be accessing it one day later, but we are creating it, recording it, finalizing it on Valentine's Day. And it, throughout the episode creation, it just kept amazing us how this couplet allowed us to celebrate love in the DGMC camp. And I hope when you listen to it, you get the same feeling. Like we said in our Valentine's episode, every day is a celebration of love. You don't need 14th February for that. And I think the couplet just serendipitously fell on our DGMC schedule, bang on Valentine's Day. And we loved creating it and all the feelings and emotions it brought up. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure putting the episode together on Valentine's Day. For the new viewers, as always, a very strong recommendation: go through the episode titled Introduction to DGMC, because that will give you a good insight into the motivation, the inspiration behind this podcast. Feel free to surf the homepage of the channel. It has a lot of playlists segregated by topic, segregated by the type of recordings we have. So now, as you know, we have started bites. So there is a playlist where you can access all DGMC bites. We have playlists for different ghazals. We have a playlist of eclectic episodes, which will give you both the Valentine episodes we have recorded so far. In addition, what was I going to say? Yeah, in addition, we now have a Facebook page. So if you want to join us there, please do. We would love to have you there. It is just a forum that allows even more interaction. We can post more media there than on YouTube. But we will try to post on both places. But join us there if you want to. We would love to have you there as part of our community. Okay. Now I'm going to end this episode as always by sending a lot of love and light to all you dear viewers, and thanks for watching.